Sounds good.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
All right, first and foremost, we give God praise, all honor, all glory to.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash.
All right, Shalom, Shalom, out in GMS, Louisiana Safe. All right, of the Lafayette branch. All right, coming back at you with another live lesson. All right, giving double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. All right, salutations and blessings as well to the Akim that's doing his work and keeping us concealed.
Mighty shalom.
Shalom,
Shalom.
all right, as you know, all right, prophecies are being fulfilled within the earth today. All right, you have racial tensions that are building up. All right, they're ultimately going to lead up to civil unrest and race wars, man.
That's right.
Okay, and all of these things are prophesied within the Bible. All right, and we out here to confess those things, man, along with other prophecies that are going to come up. All right, what you got, y'all?
All right. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 9. Then the Lord Yahweh put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord Yahweh said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have set thee this day over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
That's right, man. So the Lord has put what the words of the scriptures of the understanding, all right, of the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on how to break these scriptures down, on what to build, and to what, how it says, to what to build and to destroy, right?
Jeremiah 1 and 10 again. See, I have set this day, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
That's right. So the throwing down of these words is the throwing down of this kingdom, all right? The destruction of this kingdom.
Yes.
By words and not by physical actions. All right? And to build is to what? To build up what? All right, you build the nation of Israel, man. And doing that by what? Planting the seed, which is this word. All right?
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
Yeah, we in the time of planting, and we in the time of things getting plucked, man. All right, and that thing getting plucked is Babylon, man, because it's ripe for destruction.
That's right.
All right, and what's being planted is the seeds in the minds of the chosen. All right, the chosen of the elect. All right, and you know, we also in the season of you know, of war, man. You know, we in the season of war as well. All right, there's a time and a season for everything, as the brother just brought up. All right, that's right.
It says a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. The tabernacle of David is being built up, the spiritual temple. It says a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. Hey man, ultimately, we're in that time. The scriptures tell you that this book is filled with lamentations, mournings, and woes, right? And it also tells you that it's better to go into the house of mourning and to in the house of feasting, right? We're in a time of great mourning, but in the end, ultimate victory, it speaks of that in the New Testament. The Lord says, though our laugh will be turned, our sorrow will be turned into joy, man. Even though the world is rejoicing right now, all right? But soon, our sorrow, right, meaning our sighing and crying during the midst of the abominations being done, those cries are going to be heard. Those prayers are going to be answered, man, according to this truth, according to the scriptures, according to this banner that the Lord ultimately has set up, man. This sign throughout the earth that ultimately fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is the Lord's Son, and the Lord by that true Hebrew names in which you can only be saved by. Don't take the charagma and Babylon the Great, which is America. It's going to be engulfed by thermonuclear heat, man. That's our song that we're dancing into. Like it says in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. I'm going to read it again. It says, Ecclesiastes 3 and 4, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. And we're coming into that time of rest where the scriptures tell you, basically, roughly paraphrase, the trees are going to rejoice, man. The earth is going to be released from these chains that has been put on it. We go into the war on food. There's a war on everything, like the war on different class wars. There's a war on the food we eat. There's a war on what they have you watching in the media, man, an agenda. All right? Esau, Edom. But it says, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep away and a time to cast away. It says a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. The scriptures tell you in the end, all right, prophecy shall speak and it shall not lie. This is that time where these words that we're saying on these highways and byways, we're seeing them play out instantly, man. We're seeing it happen in the media. These words that were prophesied ultimately throughout this whole entire great book, and also over 2,000 years ago when Yahweh shined through the world and it was called Jesus Christ when he walked the earth. That was it on that book. Isaiah 13. It's all right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see. Verse 2, lift thee up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
That's right, man. And that's the brother just not brought out, but it's a time and a season for everything to take place, man. And the Lord has set up what? The elders, all right, spelling with upper Bivens appointed time to what? Preach the word, all right, because we in that time that the end is come, man, all right, and it woke up other brothers around the globe, all right, because what the scriptures tell us that, you know, the truth shall be taught to the four corners of the world, and then the end shall come. Yep. So that's what's happening.
I got a quick one. This is the book of Proverbs. Unless you have anything more there?
No.
Okay. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 20. It says, wisdom cried without. She uttered her voice in the streets. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates, in the city. She uttered her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge.
Yeah, that's what you see in those classic cassettes, man. Right? You seen the elders printed in downtown, man. All right, downtown New York. All right, preaching what the word, man. All right, to what? To all to hear. All right. Psalm 63.
This is Psalms 19 and verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David, the heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament show his handiwork. Day unto day utter his speech, and night unto night show it knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard, their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them had he set a tabernacle for the sun.
That's right, man. So the word of the Lord in all four corners of the world. Day and night. Day and night.
So like you said, Psalms 19:4, the line is going out through all the earth. Right? That's ultimately the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that the Lord ultimately has put out throughout the four corners, like the brother was going into. And when you go into the book of James, the first chapter, right? You go into that first verse, you go into that word scatter. It's talking about Israelites scattered among foreign nations, man. So the Lord has set up his banner amongst his chosen people, man, which are the Israelites, which we can prove, man. Thus said the Bible. We can't tell you about Sports Illustrated. We can't tell you about the Book of the Dead, the ins and outs. But we can tell you about this word Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man, and his people, and who they identify with on the planet Earth today, man. All right? The 12 tribes. All right? You got anything, brother? Go ahead.
Precept to back up Psalms 19. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. This is Yahushua speaking. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. You know, so this word has gone out throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, because like the brother quoted from James 1:1, the 12 tribes of Israel are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, so the 12 tribes of Israel, they're the people that need the gospel of the kingdom to be preached. Okay, they're the ones that need the good news. All right, to be let know that they're getting ready to be delivered out of captivity. Okay, a remnant of us, of course. Right. All right, and that through the preaching of this word, not only would it lead to the elect rising up, but it would also lead to Esau, Edom, and the rulership of these heathen nations coming until an end. Okay, so this word, this shoot that we're preaching, started with our apostles and bishops and elders on down, is the most powerful thing that's going on in the earth. Way more powerful than Esau, Edom's NWO agenda. Okay, which is why, as we went into last week's camp, the Bible is getting ready to be considered the new hate speech of the earth.
Right, you know? That's right, man. Scripture speaks of Esau, Edom as being the accuser of our brethren. So, an accusation is ultimately a makeshift testimony. So you come with an accusation, what is it based on? That's what the Lord looks for. The Lord tells you, according to the Bible, based on the Bible, the Israelites are the Lord's chosen people. Based on the Bible, the Lord has scattered the Israelites across the four corners. Based on the Bible, you have Israelites that look like other nations, all right, that come out of other nations, man. That the Spirit bears witness that they're an Israelite from these 12 tribes, all right? So that's based on the Bible. We're not coming with any accusations over hearsay. That's Esau, Edom, slander. Oh, have we become your enemy because we tell you the truth? And to the society, the men of the Lord were already spiritually at war with the society, spiritual enemies. But now the society is going to try to grip, all right, grip us ultimately for a testimony. When you're brought in before these different judges, before these higher ups, before these political officers, what will your testimony be? Will you be that of a saint? Because the Lord is going to assure you either way. The Lord says, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints, man. So the Lord is going to assure you either way. You just have to believe. The men that we speak of out of the scriptures, our forefathers of old, they had one striking characteristic in themselves. It was that of faith. Extreme faith in small chance circumstances. Very slim circumstances where it looked like it was dark and grim. They had extreme faith, man. Faith scriptures speak of it, as a mustard seed, man. You got it, brother. Go ahead.
I got one. Back up. All right, Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. But Yahushua beheld them and said unto them. All right, Matthew 19, verse 26. But Yahushua beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with Yahweh all things are possible. You know, so anything is possible, all right, through the power of Yahweh Shai to be elect. Okay, when we read different various accounts in the scriptures of the Lord coming through for our forefathers in the time of straits, okay, those things were written to as examples to us in this other days to boost our faith, because the same things that our forefathers and the prophets and the apostles of old went through in the ancient world, okay, just like the scripture says, that, roughly paraphrasing, that which is back then is now. The things that happened back then were now. But, we have examples in the scriptures of our forefathers of how to go through those things. And so they boost our faith as the hopeful elect. Okay, and let us know that, hey, as long as we continue to have that faith, all right, everything is possible unto us by Yahweh Shemel Shai for good.
Back you up real quick. Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that had been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun.
Right, ain't nothing new under the sun. Okay, just as we're getting ready to approach a time of famine, a time of mourning, pestilence, war. But guess what? That's accounts of our forefathers going through those same exact things back in ancient time. Back when the Babylonians came and sacked the temple, back when the Antioch Epiphanes and the Greeks came into the Holy Land, okay, back in 70 AD, all those things happened during those particular time periods. But guess what? It's no different from the time that we're in right now. Okay, but the righteous of our people persevere. They say persevere. God, the righteous of our people persevere through those times by having faith in Yahweh Shai. So guess what? We get so full elect. We're going to persevere in this time as long as we continue to have faith in Yahweh Shai.
Right? The word of elect is just in our DNA. We were created with this built in us. All right? Already added onto us. We just got to activate it. How do you activate it? This word. The scriptures tell you ultimately on is written in the place that says faith coming by hearing. And also, part of that recipe is fear, man. Fear is the prerequisite to wisdom. To understand and how to ultimately, okay, well, this is how there's some things that I cannot do. There's some things that I can do. There's some things that I ultimately can do that for me, possibly, I might not should be doing them, even though I can do them. So ultimately, that's that balance that the Lord gives us. But we activate it and we spark that flame by having faith, believing. And this is Hebrews 11:6. But without faith, it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. All right? Scriptures tell you they search the scriptures to see if these things are so. All right? Study to show thyself approved. All right? To be a good workman and rightfully divide His word, being in your right mind, being able to judge fair and thoroughly, man. Not partial, man. You want to be impartial. You don't want to be ultimately separate in your ways, double-minded. You want to activate that by ultimately, like the brothers going into faith. And like the brother said, there's many accounts of our forefathers having this in their DNA. This is Hebrews 11:7. By faith, Noah, being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the word and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. And they ultimately, after the order of Melchizedek, were all brought back to that priesthood. All right? It says we're joint heirs with Yahushua, right? So that means ultimately Noah was laboring for the same thing that we're laboring for right now. All right? To see it be made manifest, to see it come to fruition, man, which is the kingdom of heaven, which is Yahushua cracking those clouds and we being embraced by Him, man. That's His own, His chosen, man. We're on the brink of that, man. We're on the brink of all hell breaking loose, man. And it shows you the mass judgment that the Lord is going to put out because you weigh the amount of folly that we see going on, about the amount of wickedness that we see being upheld in the society. That's how you know the society is at an end, man. What it's upholding, what it's putting out, its morals, its standards, its values is being raised lower and lower, man. Next thing you know, they're inside your home. You're not seeing it on TV anymore, right? You're like, oh, just making comments about it on the news. But then prophecy just sits next to you on the sofa, and you're like, well, dang, it really hit home. Now it's involving me. When are you going to learn, Israel? Wake up, Jacob. And guess what? Though it may be a few of us, all right, the Lord deals with a remnant. We know it's ultimately with the Lord is quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. The Lord deals with quality men. Don't forget, he's known us prior to this lifetime, man. Our spirits, he created them. Go ahead, brother.
Because since you just spoke to Noah, right? This is also Matthew 24, and I'm gonna start from verse 36. Matthew 24, verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So only the heavenly Father, Yahweh, knows when he's going to send Yahweh shine the holy angels back to deliver us. Okay, but it says, verse 37, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage.
Is that not American culture? Is that not what we see flooding these streets? Even though it may not be a lot of people, it's hot out, the sun is blazing. These people are seeming to still keep up that violent spirit, man. So what is it going to take for you to learn? America is doomed. All right, this place is through, man. All right, spiritually, it's already been destroyed, right? Because we read these prophecies about America being destroyed and things happening after. All right, these heathen cleaning up our land. All right, being in servitude. So America ultimately, spiritually, is already destroyed. We just got to go through it, man. The Lord says, take no thought for tomorrow, man. Have faith. Trust in the Lord. Why worry and vex yourself, all right, with things that you can't control? It's about what you give your energy to at this point in time. You give your energy to this truth. You've invested in it. You put your hard work and labor. You got to believe that even though you haven't been cashed out physically in the society, that the Lord is going to reward you, man. He's going to supply you in that day, man, in this great and evil day, man.
It says, Matthew 24 and 38 again, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So Lord tells you straight up that just as it was during the days of Noah before the flood, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that in his latter days before his second coming of Yahushua. So the same way that the Lord, basically the Lord wants to see the same faith in us, the hopeful elect, the remnant in these latter days that Noah had. Okay, moving with faith and fear, which is wisdom. Okay, offering up the right sacrifice. All right, through the Spirit. Okay, making use of this great Spirit, because during the time period that Noah was preaching before the flood, that was basically likened unto a grace period, telling Jake, to stop doing all that wickedness and idol worship that they were doing at that time. That's right. All the violence that they were committing, and turn back to the Lord to get the ass and get up on this ark. But that's what we're telling our people to do through the Spirit. Yes. Get up on this spiritual ark. Okay, this shoot. Okay, and be protected from the new flood, so to speak, that's getting ready to hit this place, which is about fire.
That's right. And what you just said was a summarization of the whole duty that we're responsible for, man. All right, that we come on here to do. But this is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 3, verse 20 through 21 in the NLT. It says, those who disobeyed the Lord long ago, when the Lord waited patiently while Noah was building his boat, only 8 people were saved from drowning in that terrible flood, and that water is a picture of baptism, which now saves you, not by removing dirt from your body, not by removing dirt from your body, but as a response to the Most High from a clean conscience. It is effective because of the resurrection of Yahushua. So it says, not by removing dirt from your body, like actual water, right? But the reflection of a clean conscience, which is ultimately renewing your mind, being transformed, man, in Yahushua, man. All right? Not keeping all the laws, man, but keeping them to the best of your ability through faith in Yahushua, faith in this ministry, man. Faith that Yahushua is going to come back and finish what he started, man. All right? And it's doing, man. Just like the scriptures tell you, I go to prepare a place for thee. So guess what? When we're delivered from America and across the four corners, we're going to a great place, man. We're going to a greater state. And a state is a condition. We're in a lower state right now, a low condition. We're going to be raised up into a higher state, man. And transformed, but it starts now, man, by renewing of your mind. All right, like the scripture said, I'm going to read it again. 1 Peter 3:21 in the NLT. And that water is a picture of baptism, which now saves you, not by removing dirt from your body, but as a response to the Lord from a clean conscience. So you got to respond to the Lord. How do you respond to the Lord? By this word. This word is what cleanses you. That wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way. You got to take heed to this word. Take heed unto the testimony of Yahushua. Watch out for prophecy. Pray and watch. If you're not praying, you should be watching. If you're not watching, you should be praying, man. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, because the Lord is calling our people out to preaching of the word. Okay, namely the elect. So, hey, if the Lord is calling you, you got to respond to it. You know, just like if somebody calling your phone and it's somebody that you know and it's somebody that's important and you need to take this call, then hey, when that phone is ringing and you see that name on the call ID, you got to answer it. Okay, because otherwise, if you just, let it ring until it stop, until it start ringing, then hey, that could be a missed opportunity right there. In this case, a missed opportunity for salvation, and 2/3 of our people are, pretty much have the Lord on block. Yeah. Hey, so the Lord's gonna block them.
All right. It's supposed to like you just keep speaking up that.
Yeah, nah, because real quick, I got it.
You see, you got one.
All right, real quick. This is Zechariah 7. Zechariah 7 and verse 11. But they refused to hearken and pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears that they should not hear. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words which the Lord of hosts had sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord of hosts. Those are 2/3 of our people. They pulled the shoulder from the Lord. They stopped of the ear. So guess what? When the time of their calamity come, okay, and they're going to be crying out to the Lord's going to pull away his shoulder from them. Just stop his ears from hearing them.
That's right. They don't want to hear that testimony. That testimony has been passed down from our forefathers onto us. Saying what? Yahushua, dark-skinned man from the tribe of Judah, is coming back to save a certain group of people. From the beginning, we've been passing down that testimony. Before it was ultimately written down, the commandments, they were oral. All right? Now, through Yahushua, all right, we don't make void the law, we fulfill it through our faith. Romans, the 3rd chapter goes into that. We have access by faith, basically, in this grace where we stand, man, roughly paraphrasing, man. So we stand here by the grace and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You got some brother? Go ahead.
Jeremiah 6 and 10. It says, to whom shall I speak and give warning that they may hear? It says, behold, their ears is uncircumcised, they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of the Lord is unto them as a reproach. They have no delight in it. So our people have no delight in the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. The word of righteousness. They'd rather hear the words of their idols of their so-called idols, man. And the people that Esau set up as, the guinea pigs, man, the clone Tyrones, man, so they can clone them as well, man, into being a product of America, man. You know, so they rather be, like I said, man, they rather be, they rather be the next, Kevin Gates or the next Kendrick Lamar or whoever the case may be, or whoever their idol may be. That's who they rather be than be a man of the Lord, all right, or a woman of Zion, man, all right.
Yeah, now you keep going with some.
There's some more.
That's it on that.
Yeah, because as of right now, as of lately, you had 2/3 of our people basically idolizing a damn chair now. Pursuant to that brawl down in Montgomery, Alabama, you basically had a bunch of Jakes come together to defend the older Jake against a bunch of Edomites that jumped off the boat because of the Jake security guard told them not to park their boat in that particular spot or whatever. And so you got Jakes literally making an idol out of the damn chair. Showing you how simple 2/3 of our people are. Okay? They think just because of one so-called asshole, now that gives them an advantage against their number one sworn enemy, Esau Edom. We as a whole elect, we're not looking to no white chair as our victory. Ultimately, we're looking to that white horse as our victory. Yahweh Shah spoken of in the book of Revelation. Yes, that's right.
I'll grab it real quick. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 2. We'll start at once. Verse 1, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, come and see. And I saw and beheld a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer.
So that lamb that sat upon this white horse is Yahweh Shah. Okay, the lamb that was slain from the foundation of the earth, spoken of in, I believe, the previous chapter. Okay, the lamb without blemish, as it says in Peter. Yahweh Shah is the one who sits on that white horse, which is symbolic of a chariot, or so-called UFO. White represents pure, horse represents power. And that's how the chariots operate, just through pure power, through the spirit of the heavenly Father, Yahweh. Okay, and as it said, he had a crown upon his head and a bow in his hand. That bow symbolic of what? The missiles as well as the laser beams being shot out of the chariots. And it said he went forth conquering. Okay, getting a victory over Esau, Edom, and these heathen nations and their armies. So that's where our victory is going to come from. He that sat upon that white horse. Okay, not he that sat in that white chair. Okay, you simple jakes out there in the world. All right.
Go ahead, I got one after you.
This is Revelation Revelation 19 and 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, whom Yahweh is the testimony of Yahweh Shah is the spirit of prophecy. And I saw heaven open up, and behold.
Right. It says the testimony of Yahweh Shah is the spirit of prophecy. That's why we said earlier that ultimately that testimony has been passed down to us, and we bear that testimony. We bear of that sorrow. All right. We bear of that anguish and that weight. We feel the Lord's pain, man. We resonate with this story. All right. Ultimately labeling us the Lord's kindred, his kinsmen, his friends, man. All right. We're of the heritage. We believe, all right, in a higher power. Our society, what do they believe in? Only things that they can see. Only things that are tangible. All right. No spirituality in them. The multitude of people that are out here, a lot of them are atheists. Walk to and fro, being tossed with every different wind of doctrine, man. All right? But the scriptures tell you we have sound doctrine, right? That's 144% true. Go ahead, brother. You got more?
Read the 12.
It says, and I saw heaven open up, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Right, and that's characteristics of Yahushua, ultimately the hopeful elect. We're going to be made blameless. We're going to be labeled as faithful and true because we come on the same accord that Yahushua came in, man, in the name of the Father. All right, like it goes into Revelation, the 5th chapter. All right, no man on earth, on the heaven was worthy to open that book. All right, but Yahushua, and through Yahushua, we have access to the wonders of this great book, man. These different sayings to measure the time, like the scriptures say, measure the time diligently. So you shall see that part of this has come to pass, but yet a little more must come, man. And that's the time where we're in, man. All right? And that little more is ultimately going to be the icing on the cake of this place. That which is Jacob's trouble. We see it, man. This place is ultimately waiting for the, what did they say, the straw that broke the camel back? All right? Which likely could be that economy mixed with other things, man. The scriptures tell you the plagues draw nigh, but are not slight. That means they're coming in a domino effect. But I got one just backing up that boat, right? Because as we went into Revelation, the 6th chapter, all right, the Lord bear the bow. This is Habakkuk 3 and 8. Was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the seas? Salaki, was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? That thou did ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation. So the Lord is going to come back in his glorious state, all right? And the scene, the setting is, man, was the Lord angry with the rivers? The Lord's coming with all this indignation, like, is the Lord coming to spare or is he coming to destroy? But ultimately, he's coming to do both, man. The Lord is coming to spare and destroy, man. The scriptures call him faithful and true. I guarantee you the Lord is going to live up to his name, all right? Jake's not living up to their name, their culture, their heritage, except the 144,000, all right? 1/3, the large multitude. We're living up to the name that our forefathers bore, right? That ultimately link us up with being heirs of the promise, just like Noah was, by faith. So it says, verse 9, thy bow was made quite naked. Thy bow was made quite naked according to the oaths of the tribes. Even thy word, Salah, thou did cleave the earth with rivers. So the Lord is ultimately, the scriptures tell you, the Lord's word is not going to return void. All these things shall come to pass. Scriptures tell you, now the drop not telling the law, basically roughly paraphrasing, right? Till all these things come to pass. We're watching. We're at the door, man. We're at the gates of the nobles. We're telling these elites ultimately what? That your society is coming to a conclusion. There's nothing you can do about it. You can go ahead and establish your digital platforms, man. You can make the scale $55 US to one brick. You can crash this economy. But shall that make void the faith of the Lord's hopeful elect? No, man. We're going to have faith in the Lord's word, man. What he's prescribing. All right? Go ahead, brother. You got one?
I still got it, Lord.
Go ahead.
It says, and I saw heaven open up, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon it was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he does judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he
That's
had,
like a flame of fire, man. Yeah. That's a description of Yahushua. It's going to be red with indignation. Right? It says, you know that one?
Yes, his eyes were a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
Many crowns, meaning start with Esau, Edom. The Lord's going to take down America, Russia, China, North Korea. The mains, right? He's going to take all the mains out, and he's going to take the underlings out, man. These other nations with lighter nuclear capabilities, all right? Because the Lord mustered, like the scriptures say, the Lord mustered the host of the battle. To muster something is meaning to basically design it, to call it into words, to make it happen. The Lord is going to orchestrate it, man, in the valley of Yehoshaphat, man. Saudi Arabia, over there in the Middle East. The scriptures tell you, when the Lord was taken up, he shall come back in a like manner. Meaning what? He's going to come back on that fathership, man, in his glory. Go ahead,
I'm going to get that word up.
Go ahead.
Get that word.
Go ahead, man. You say you had a word?
I'm going to get mustard.
Yeah. All right, just real quick to back you up. This is Isaiah chapter 31, verse 3. Now the Egyptians are men and not Yahweh. Okay, they're speaking about the spiritual Egyptians in these other days, which are these Edomites and their armies. All right, it says, Isaiah 31 and 3 again. Now the Egyptians are men and not Yahweh, and their horse is flesh and not spirit. You know, Esau's going to try to fight against Yahweh and the holy angels with carnal flying vehicles. His fighter jets, okay, these different stealth bombers, his space force, and these other carnal vehicles that they mustered up themselves to fight against the second coming of Yahweh. So it says, and their horse is flesh and not spirit. You know, because like I said earlier, the chariots operate off the pure power of the Spirit of the Lord. Right? You know, they don't need no steering wheel, no gas pedal, no brake. They don't need they don't need to first chapter. Yep. They don't need no oil change. They don't need no they don't need to be filled up with gas, no tune-ups. Okay, they don't crash. All right, you got Esau talking about a so-called UFO crash over there in Nevada. Okay, which is all BS. Right? But it says, when the Lord shall stretch out his hand, what is the hand of the Lord? Yahweh Shai, his right hand. It says, when the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall it. All right, these underlying heathen nations, like the brother said, that's going to try to help these major nations fight against Yahweh Shai, they're going to fall. They're going to be destroyed. It says, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. That's right. So all these nations that's going to be trying to come up and fight against Yahweh Shai, the holy angels, and the archangel Michael, they're all going to fail together because they're all going to be destroyed together. That's the 13th chapter. Right? Yahweh Shai is going to destroy them. He's going to lift up no sword, no instrument of war. He'll only send forth out of his mouth blast of fire, tempest, and everything else that it goes into in that chapter. Okay, Yahweh see the smell of dust and smoke. Yep, man. Yahweh Shai is going to make a quick, easy victory out of all of them together. Hey, because not to mention they're all going to be gathered together in one place. The battle of Yahweh Shabbat. You know, hey, so Lord, mountain of troops, the Lord's decision, man. Mountain of troops when you go into it, man. Yep. You got it.
This is right here. All right, this is the definition of mustard.
You read it in the blue letter or
the blue letter. It says to attend to. It says to visit, to provoke, to
attend to. So the Lord is coming to attend to what? His business. His business affairs, man. The Lord is a businessman. He's about his word, man. He's coming back to do just what he said. Yahweh Shai is coming back to fulfill his name. He delivered, man. Yeah. Yahweh Shai, right? And do just that. It says tend to what else?
It says tend to. It says to seek.
To seek.
To look about for.
Right. It said to visit. The Lord is going to visit you, man. But first, he's visiting the earth with different plagues, man. Ultimately, setting the scene up for one big event, one major event, man. All right? But he takes down these different nations, like the brother read in Revelation 19 chapter. Let you get back to that, too, because I got to precept back to you up. The Lord mustereth the host of the battle. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. It says to visit upon punish.
That's right, man.
Yeah. That's pretty much it on that one.
Could you go back to Revelation 19? When it said on his head, he will have many crowns. Because the Lord, if the Lord, Esau, you go up against the beginning and the end, man. The Lord says the Alpha and the Omega, man. All right? The Lord is going to school you so bad, Esau, and make so light of your great, so-called, quote-unquote, great technology, man. Your wizardry, which that goes into. The Lord's going to make light of your armories, man. Your weaponry. Go ahead, brother.
It says, again, this is Revelation 19 and 11. And I saw heaven open up, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he does judge and make war. It says his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
On his what?
On his head were many
On
crowns.
his what?
On his head were many
This
crowns.
is 1 Corinthians 15 and 24, also backing you up, huh? It says, then cometh the end when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all authority and all rule and power. Like the brother said, on his head, he's coming back with many crowns. He's going to put down all authority, all rule, all power, man, on the planet Earth. It started with Esau, Edom. But first, the Lord has to set you up to ultimately get checkmate. The Lord is lining you up. He's priming you for ultimately a good scorching, man. All right? But it says, verse 25, for he must reign till he had put all enemies under his feet. And the main enemy of the nation of Israel is Esau, Edom, and along with you other nations, but the Lord has set you up as well to deceive and to deceive all his. So the Lord is going to put all his enemies under his feet. All right? And ultimately, if we build the elect, we're going to abide in the shadow of the Almighty, man. When you're in the shadow of something, you're cool. So when this hell and this hot indignation comes, we're going to be in the shadow in those chariots. We're going to be cool. We're not going to be partaking in all of that, man. All right? Like the scriptures say, Jacob was a smooth man dwelling in tents, man. We didn't want all that transgression and all the penalties that came with it anyways, man. We want to serve the Lord. We don't want to disobey the Lord, man. All right? We know what our power can do. So it says, the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. And that death is going into these so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes not coming back to your nationality, not remembering who you were, not calling upon the name of the Lord, man. All right? Not knowing that the Lord is coming for you and you are the Lord's chosen people. Devaluing yourself in the society, all right? Putting yourself through Esau, Edom's way and not the Most High's way. But guess what? The Most High's way is going to reign. It said until he put all his enemies under his feet. These are the times where, man, the time of Jacob's trouble. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
This is Psalms 110. Psalms 110, verse 5. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. And again, who's at the right hand of the Lord? Yahweh Shai. It says, verse 6, he shall judge among the heathen, and as it read in Revelation 19, in righteousness he doth judge and make war. All right? It says, verse 6 again, Psalms 110 and 6, he shall judge among the heathen, he shall fill the places with the dead bodies, he shall wound the heads over many countries. Verse 7, he shall drink of the brook in the way, therefore shall he lift up his head. And so Yahweh Shai is going to strike through the kings of these nations. He's going to strike through their power. He's going to strike through their militaries, through their weapons, their technology. Okay, and as I just said, he's going to fill the places with the dead bodies. Okay, because it's going to be all kinds of dead bodies and dead carcasses by the time Yahweh Shai is done with these nations and their armies. And as I also just said, he shall wound the heads over many enemies. All right, mainly Esau and Edom. Yeah. Because going back to the serpent in the garden, right?
This is the third chapter. That's
Right.
right.
What does it say? What does it say? The serpent will bruise our heel. But it said the seed of the woman, which is also the Israelites, starting with Yahweh Shai, will bruise the head of the serpent. Right? You know? So that prophecy basically is, bro, the seed of the woman, okay, bruising the head of the serpent is going to be ultimately fulfilled through Yahweh Shai. You know? Wait. Matter of fact,
I got one back here. This is Psalm 68 and 21. But the Most High shall wound the head of his enemies, and the hairy scalp of such, and one as goeth on still in his trespasses. Starting with Esau, Edom, man. All right. Scripture tell you in Genesis, what is it, 25 and 25? All right. Came out hairy all over. Let's talk about Esau, Edom, man. The Most High is going to wound his head. That old serpent has grown, and ultimately, that defining moment, all right, when you finally put that serpent under, is taking that head off, man. That's how Yahweh Yahushua is going to wound Esau, Edom, America. This prophecy is coming fast, man. Harken on to these words. Go ahead, brother.
This is Romans chapter 16, verse 19. For your obedience is come abroad unto all men. Okay, our obedience to his word being preached out is come unto all men throughout the four corners of the earth. Like we read earlier in Psalm 19, this line has gone forth throughout the earth, roughly paraphrasing it. All right, but it says, Romans 16, verse 19, for your obedience is come abroad unto all men. I am glad, therefore, on your behalf. But yet I would have you wise unto that which is good and simple concerning evil. All right, now here's the point. Verse 20, and the power of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly. The grace of our Lord Yahushua be with you. Amen. So the power of peace is the Most High Yahweh. All right, but through Yahushua, as the scriptures call Yahushua, the Prince of Peace, is going to bruise Satan under our feet shortly. Okay, and is that talking about the spiritual demon Satan? No, it's talking about the physical counterpart of Satan. Okay, which Esau, Edom, who will come after the working of Satan. So Yahushua is going to come back to bruise, all right, the physical counterpart of Satan, Esau, Edom, as well as his works under Satan, under our feet. Okay, showing you that we're going to get the victory through Yahushua. You know, but first our victory starts with Yahushua getting his victory as well as his glory. Okay, but you know, ultimately, this Yahushua bruising Satan under our feet is going to be the fulfillment of the seed of the woman. Okay, bruising on the head of the serpent. All right, Yahushua is going to come to fulfill that.
That's right. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved, but thou, O power, shall bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. So the Lord tells you in, I believe it's Romans the 2nd chapter, that the Lord has prepared a reward for the just and also the wicked. So the wicked is going to get their reward, which is being smited, all right? The hairy head, you saw Edom, all right? And the just are going to get their reward, man, all right? Which is being brought back into their first estate, man, the angelic estate. Go ahead, brother. So, you got some more?
Let's go back to Isaiah 13. You got a precept real quick? All right, so this is back in Isaiah 13, verse 2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. You know, I got a quick precept because Brother Amos had asked me to get Psalm 16:3 to explain what that banner is ultimately. All right, as it says, as it just read in Isaiah 13, lift ye up the banner, right? But what is that banner ultimately that we lift up? Okay, this is Psalms chapter 60, verse. I'm going to start at verse 3. Thou hast shewed thy people hard things. All right, hard things such as the understanding of the scriptures, right? It says, thou hast shewed thy people hard things. Thou hast made us to drink the wine of astonishment. Verse 4, thou hast given a banner to them that fear thee, that it may be displayed because of the truth. Selah. So this banner that we're lifting up in the midst of Babylon and Great is ultimately this truth. Okay? So going back to
I got it real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 5, verse 7. So like in verse 26, Isaiah 5 and 26. And he will lift up an ensign to the nations, an ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the ends of the earth. And behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. And the Lord, what is the Lord ultimately lifting up throughout the earth, man? The ensign, that banner like the brother was going into. Saying that ultimately what? Declaring the destruction of Babylon the Great. The other nations going into slavery. Like it goes into Revelation the 14th chapter, which goes into Exodus the 15th chapter, because that new song is just that old song, man. The Lord said it did not change, so the same victory that we got in ancient Egypt is going to be magnified in spiritual Egypt, man, which is America. We're going to get that victory, man, delivered from the horse and his rider, man. All right, Esau eat on that red horse, man. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Isaiah 13, verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness.
Hey, and that's right, man. The Lord ultimately called us to this truth, to this mercy. All right, put us on this front line, because ultimately the Lord is gonna do what? He's gonna assemble his army. We're part of the Lord's army. You got us, you got the holy angels, ultimately, all right? You got these nuclear missiles that are part of the Lord's army that are gonna destroy this place, man. All right? That are ultimately called to do what? The Lord's bidding, man. All right? Because when you think about it, the Lord controls our spirit. The Lord controls the spirit of the blades of the grass, all right? The wind, which way it goes, all right? Everything down to the nuclear missiles to destroy this place, man. But the thing about it is, he's setting it up, all right? Like the scriptures say that this stick, man, all right? We see this going out, that line across the four corners. You got Israelites in Italy, Rome, Jamaica, Suriname, the Virgin Islands. But what is that testimony declaring? That this place is wicked, man. So therefore, we're laboring for that marker, that top exemption. It's Ezekiel 94. Go ahead, up.
That's a precept.
All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 4. It says, then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee to be a prophet unto the nations. So Yahweh Bashim Yahushua sanctified, the elect, man, from the womb to what? To be prophets and bishops and so forth and so on, to come out here and preach the word, to be able to pull down the strongholds and spiritually tear down this place, while also sealing and sanctifying other Israelites as well that may hear this word.
The precept showing you that, all right, just as Lord Yahweh Shah has the army of angels in the heavens, all right, which is why the Lord is known as the Lord of hosts, the Lord of the hosts of the armies in heaven. We as a whole elect here on earth, we're a part of the Lord's army as well. Okay, foot soldiers of the Lord. Okay, spiritual soldiers. Now, real quick, this is Ezekiel 37, verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet as an exceeding great army. Okay, going into basically the remnant waking up in these other days, starting with Abba Bivens back in the late 60s, okay, even to this very day. The preaching of the word, the remnant, the breath of life has entered into the remnant, okay, and we stood up and we're standing upon our feet as an exceeding great spiritual army, okay, spiritually casting down the strongholds of the society, starting with Babylon the Great, okay, right? Yeah, that was that we're also part of the Lord's army as well, spiritually. Okay,
read verse 3 again. That's the one who was on, right?
Yeah,
Read it again. Let's see what's going on. Not sure.
All right. Isaiah 13, verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness.
Right, and also according to the Lord's mighty ones, those nuclear missiles, man. All right, all right. This is the book of Joel 3 and 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, because that's going to go into and read down Isaiah the 13th chapter. They come from a country far off, man. What are they ultimately being assembled for? All right, the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the valley of decision, man. Where the Lord is going to plead with them, and it tells you in Isaiah 47 chapter, right, that He's going to take vengeance and not meet them as a man. He's going to meet them as an angelic force. Here's the reason that in the second Ezra, the 13th chapter, you need to lift it up, sword, no instrument of war. Another being, but it says, Joel 3 and 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Get Acts 29. Read it again, Joel 3 and 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. And when you go into that, it's the valley of decision. So the Lord is going to assemble these different nations. All right? Russia, China, North Korea, America. We're seeing, all right, a high intention of nuclear warfare talk, man, in the earth. All right? These other nations are boasting of their nuclear power. Even these underling nations, like we were going into, they're boasting of their nuclear power, man. These different African nations, all right, they're bulking up, all right? Russia is going to be a guard unto them. Russia and Iran versus Israel and the United States, man. We know how it's going to go down, thus said prophecy. Do we know the exact time? No, man. All right, only the Father in heaven knows, but we measure the time via these prophecies. So it says, Joel 3 and 12, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So these nations are going to be round about in rare form, all right? In so-called rare form in the height of their military power, man. All right? In the very ceiling of their military power, man. Meaning they're going to be giving it all they have against the Lord and his holy host of angels, man. But the Lord is going to be working everything against them, including those nuclear missiles, man, which are going to destroy Babylon, man. Millions upon millions of nuclear missiles, man. The Lord said He's created the smith that bloweth the coal, Robert Oppenheimer. All right, these different, the atomic bomb, the nuclear bomb. All right. Ultimately, the Lord bringing back that fire and brimstone from ancient Sodom and Gomorrah. All those things were created by the Lord. Even this battle that the Lord set up, for it's written, He mustered the host. Like the brother went into, it says, verse 13. Also, like to read Acts 1 and 9. Go ahead, brother.
Acts chapter 1, verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and the cloud received him out of their sight.
Right, and that cloud is what the world generally identifies as UFOs, as a charity. How about Shemel Shah, man? He was taken out of sight. I mean, he was beamed up, man. So when Yahweh Shah comes back down, he's going to come back down in that angelic form. It tells you in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, it says, what? The last man, Adam, all right, was earthly. But this Adam is a quickening spirit. When you go into that word quickening, it means to basically to give spiritual power. The Lord's going to do that to us. He's going to quicken us. This word quickens us. All right? It's a form of spiritual power, man. It's the spirit. So when this word goes out, you better believe that the Lord's, His commandment is not going to return void. So this is back in Joel, ultimately, the 3rd chapter. You got some, where was that? Yeah, read down to 11.
All right. Acts 1, verse 10. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them.
Two angels, go ahead.
2 men stood by them in white apparel.
Because as we know, angels can take the appearance of men. All right, it tells you in the book of Tobit that what Raphael took the appearance of a man. All right, and he described his duty for the Lord, bringing in and out the prayers of the saints. All right, there's so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes, men of different colors in those chariots, man, that are going to come back to deliver us. Our space force, like Esau Edom has been given the blue heavens, he has a makeshift space force. Guess what? You ain't seen nothing until you see the Lord's handiwork in the heavens. Well, he's coming back, man, to declare his name in Zion, man. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 11, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? The same Yahushua.
They were observing, man. They were observing the way the Lord was taken up, man. And guess what? The Lord will be observed for how he comes back. The whole earth is going to observe this, man. See the Lord, man. All eyes shall behold him, even those that pierced him. Go ahead, brother.
It says, you got it. You got it. All right. This is verse 11, which verse 11, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? The same Yahushua which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
And that's what we're reading about in Joel, the 3rd chapter, man. The Lord is setting his seed up to return in that like manner, man. All right? In his glory. In his glory, he was taken up, right? In his glory, he shall return, man. To conquer these other nations, man. Start with Esau Edom. So it says, Joel 3 and 13, it says, so like in Joel 3 and 12, let the heathen be wakened and come into the valley of Yahushua. There will I sit to judge all the heathen round about, which is around the area of Saudi Arabia, right? So it says, verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. And ultimately, what harvest is ultimately ripe, man? This planet Earth. Guess what? The reapers are the angels, man. So it's going to be a harvest. And guess what? This place is going to be hit by nuclear fire, man. So this place is ripe for destruction. All right? So it says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. And ultimately, it tells you that these ultimate missiles are going to eat the flesh of these kings of the earth. You should eat the flesh of kings, all right? Rulers, all right? How's the Lord going to do that? By this nuclear fire, man, all right? And ultimately, a part of that fire is this word, man, by the mouth of the prophets, all right? So it says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for the wickedness is great, all right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 15. In another, Salaki, verse 14, Revelation 14 and 14. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud. And upon the cloud, and this is also backing up the Acts 1 and 9 in the Joel, the 3rd chapter, Revelation 14 and 14. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud. And upon the cloud, one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And that's ultimately showing forth the Lord's power with that sickle, all right, to reap an earth and destroy, man, a destroying instrument, all right, throughout the planet Earth, man. You know, like the brother brought out the 2nd and 13th chapter, man, all right, it describes how the Lord out of him became sparks, tempests, all right, because he was out of this world, man, all right, a celestial being. So it says another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time has come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe, right? The harvest of the earth is ultimately ripe, man. Meaning what? Prepared, ready, all right? For that indignation, for that fire, man, that's going to cleanse this place, man. All right? Fire is a cleansing agent, just like water flooded the earth. In the times of Noah, but he had faith and 8 souls were saved. Just like to the times we're in right now, man. That flood, nuclear fire is going to flood this entire earth, man. And the Lord is going to be the orchestrator of it all, man. Having his way in the midst of those flames, man. Directing it, channeling it, man. To destroy this place. Because it's his will. So it says, and he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped, man. Right. And the earth was reaped, man. Meaning what? It was basically cleansed by that fire, man. That harvest, it was right. Like it goes into in Matthew the 13th chapter, man. Those tares and those weeds, right? When you go to Teresh or bash the wheat in these other nations, man, these heathen nations, they're going to be destroyed in this fire, man.
Back in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 4, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together, right?
Gathered together in the valley of Yahushua. Go ahead.
The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle.
The Lord of hosts mustered the host of the battle. Like the brother went into. That word muster went into like visit. Right? The Lord is going to visit them, man, for the evil doings on the planet Earth. The Lord is going to deal with them. He's going to plead with them. All right? How is he going to plead with them? By that sword. Okay? So it says, oh, yeah, that's a good one too. It's back in Joel that had a little bit more. It's Joel 3 and 14, because like the brother said, the nations, right? Plural. It says Joel 3 and 14. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. And that's basically what Yahushua means, man. Valley of decision, mountain of troops, Armageddon, right? The Lord is setting the scene over there, man. He's drawing these other nations in. He's having other nations draw other nations in, and he's drawing them in. Because the scriptures tell you the least of the flesh should draw them out. All right, so the Lord is having these other different nations draw other nations in, while the Lord draws them all in. For the big sweep, man. That's how the Lord is going to do this place, man. Like a sweep. With that nuclear fire, man, it's going to engulf this place, man. And take it all away and refresh the earth. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, because basically it's like instead of the Lord just picking these nations off one by one, the Lord just will gather them all up and destroy them at all at one time. Because even like when the Lord destroys all the nations at one time, that's going to help speed up prophecy as well. Because if the Lord wants to pick them off all one by one, then that will slow down prophecy. But hey, the Lord is not gonna make haste to establish His kingdom when He cracked those clouds. So it's gonna take them all down all at one single time, all right, without lifting up any carnal weapon or sword. But it says back in Isaiah 13 and verse 5, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of His indignation to destroy the whole land. Right? Showing you that it's not talking about ancient Babylon, because the physical land where ancient Babylon was, which is modern day Iraq, is not completely destroyed. You still have people inhabiting that land to this very day. It's right. The people of Iraq. Yeah.
That's right. Hey, I got a piece of back you up. Okay. Hey, this is the book. It's back in Revelation, the 14th chapter. It's like it's going to go into ultimately. All right, the Lord is going to gather these nations up, but in that valley, Yahushua is going to be a lot of blood spilled. All right, like it says, Revelation 14 and 15 in the NLT. Then another angel came from the temple and shouted to the one sitting on the cloud, "Swing the sickle, for the time of the harvest has come. The crop on earth is ripe." So the one sitting on the cloud swung his sickle over the earth, and the whole earth was harvested. And King Jeremiah 33, it says, after that, another angel came from the temple in heaven, and he also had a sharp sickle. Then another angel who had power to destroy with fire. Notice the mechanism that the Lord is choosing, man. Fire, all right? Because ultimately fire is a cleansing agent, man, all right? So it says, he shouted to the angel with the sickle, "Swing your sickle now to gather the cluster of grapes from the vines of the earth, for they are ripe for judgment." So the angel swung his sickle over the earth. So the angel swung his sickle over the earth and loaded the grapes into the great winepress of the Most High's wrath. The grapes were trampled in the winepress outside the city. What does the scriptures tell you in the book of Revelation? They that are without are whoremongers, sorcerers, dogs, all right? Those are those that are going to be without, outside of those chariots, man, outside of that ark. And what's going to be hitting them? That flood, man, that nuclear fire, man, that's going to hit the earth, man. So it says, the latter end, it says, Revelation 14 and 20 in the NLT, the grapes were trampled in the winepress outside the city, and blood flowed from the winepress in a stream about 180 miles. About 180 miles long and as high as a horse's bridle. So you're going to have blood up to a horse's bridle. Imagine nothing but blood up to the horse's bridle. 180 miles long? Come on.
Blood and fire. Like, man, that's a horrific scene right there. Man, it's just blood and fire everywhere. Fire, above your head. Blood above your head. Like, to be up on that chariot when all these things that come to pass, like that's gonna be a major victory. Like a victory, so we can't even explain how great of a victory that's gonna be.
Yep. Whatever exceeding epic, man. It's gonna be marvelous, man. The Lord's gonna do it. A flawless fashion. The whole earth is gonna see how the Lord clearly set up this place in these other nations to glorify His name, man. We're gonna go out this place with a bang, man. We're gonna be living up the style. Revelation the 15th chapter, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, talks about the elect being beamed up on that sea of glass, man. They've been holding this place. Man. Is that not a out of this world type of exit out of slavery? To be delivered in with the world immediately identifies as UFOs out of a nation that's engulfed in flames, man. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Still going to Jeremiah.
Yep. Same time.
Right. Jeremiah 51, verse 33. For thus said the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. One more time. Jeremiah 51 and 33. For thus said the Lord, the power of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor.
Right? Threshing floor for what? Getting that wine, right? But that's likened unto the Lord's indignation. But you got to literally work to get that wine right. So that's likened unto the Lord stepping on these other nations, man, reigning over them, man. All right? But when you have that threshing floor, it's a lot of wine, all right? A lot of blood is going to be spilled. Go ahead, brother.
It says, it is time to thresh her.
Right now, man, the Lord is going to make a speedy riddance of America and its European allies, man. And these other nations, man. The BRICS nation, man. The Lord is going to do away with them, man. The Lord is setting them up. Don't get it confused. Just because the BRICS nation is $1 and that's equivalent to $55 US, that doesn't mean that we're following after the BRICS system, man. And we're saying, oh, well, you know what? They're going to take away the dollar. That means we can conform to them. It's a better way of life. No, we're taking heed to these scriptures. These other nations are going to be, like we read in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. They're going to be rooted up. They're going to be pulled down. Like the brother said, we were wounded to the Achilles. That's ultimately for a time, right? But you're going to be wounded, Esau, you at the head, man. So it says,
what's like it says, the latter part of verse 33, yet in a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come.
Right, the time of that great harvest, man, that great fire on earth, all right? That great cleansing, man. Because even down here in the 337, man, you have people that are still good to this day. They'll set up, they have a house with, I guess, like some land, well, they can't get in trouble for it, but they set like a bonfire, man. They burn certain things, man. All right? Certain things that they have no use of, all right? Things that they may not like, or even just wood, man, just a burn. But ultimately, you need wood for that fire to keep going. And that's like these other nations. They're going to be wood for that fire, man. They great harvest. You got to know that.
And matter of fact, since you just mentioned that, in Malachi 4:1, all right? What does Malachi 4:1 say? Malachi 4, verse 1, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So the wicked of the world, the heathen nations, including 2/3 of all people, when that fire comes from the Lord to devour them, they're going to be as stubble. It's going to be beaten down to powder, down to dust. Okay, where it's going to leave them neither root the desires of this world. Okay, it's all going to be burnt up, run along with them physically. Right? Go ahead, I got that.
All right, this is Psalms 21 and 9. It says, "Thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thy anger. The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them." So that's going into like the brother was going into, man. Yahweh Shai, when he said he's not gonna come back as he's not gonna come back as a man. He be as a man. That's him coming back in that angelic body, man, with those spiritual powers.
Isaiah 63. Who is he that cometh from Edom with? Basra from Diagomas from Basra, man, roughly paraphrasing. He tried no wine press alone. The Lord is going to get the glory for destroying these other nations, man. How about Shimon Shai is going to get the ultimate glory? All right? For destroying and taking down these other nations, man. We're prophesying of it. Lord willing, to be partakers of the suffering. So on the other hand, when the shoe exchanges on the other foot, we can be partakers of the glory. So this just back you up because he said the Lord tried his wine press alone, right? We was talking about that threshing floor, right? And ultimately, in Revelation 14 chapter, blood 180 miles long. This is Psalm 75 and 7. It says, "But the Most High is the judge. He put it down one and set it up another. He put it down Esau, Edom. He set it up the house of Israel, man. The scepter shall not depart from Judah." All right, neither a lawgiver, roughly paraphrasing, till Shiloh comes, right? So it says, Psalm 75 and 8, "For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup." Okay, the Lord's got a cup in his hand. Let's see what's in that cup, what the Lord is drinking. It says, and the wine is red. He tried the wine press alone, man. That wine is like all right, the indignation, man, that the Lord is coming to wreak havoc on this place. So it says, "The wine is red, it is full of mixture, and he poured out of the same, but the dregs thereof, the dregs in the cup, or the last drop, man, the scrape of it, all right? And that's used to say the Lord is going to give you everything, all right, that you've been asking for, man. You're going to drink that full cup, that full portion of slavery, man, all right? You're going to have a grand entrance into slavery, and we're going to have a grand exit out of slavery. How you like that, Esau? Your interest is going to be destruction, all right? Being put in those chains, all right? With these nobles and these chains, these different higher up elites, we can't wait to see it, because you are the higher up elites that have pushed these philosophies in the planet Earth that's now governing this place. Do as thou will, all right? The divide and conquer, all right? Oppress a man in his heritage. That's you, Esau. So when the shoe was on the other foot, the Lord is going to take down these other nations and all them into slavery. Esau, even after that 1,000-year period, we went into that the other day, that 1,000-year period, Esau, you're going to be eradicated. And ain't that something, right? Esau give you life, right? Guess what the Lord says? I sentence you to 1,000 years. And after that 1,000 years, you're going to cut off your son and you're going to take out your heritage. You're a cancer to the earth, Esau. A parasite. So it says, "But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them." When you're wringing something out, like you got a wet towel, you've been working out, you wring it out, you're trying to get all that water out of it so it can get dry, you get everything out of it so you can nap in your face. That's how the Lord is going to wring out you other nations. He's going to wring you all out, man. Juice you, man. You got it, brother.
I'm still in Isaiah 13.
Go ahead.
All right. Back in Isaiah 13, in verse 6, "How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt."
That's right. It said, "How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as destruction from the Almighty," right? It's going to come as destruction. It's going to come as a thief. And that's what the prophets are out here to tell you. The day of the Lord is at hand. It said howl, right? So a certain individual is howling in the same chapter right here, man. So like in this other chapter, James 5:1, it says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl. Weep and howl, for your miseries that shall come upon you. All right, let's talk about Esau Edom. All right, start with these international banking families. Ultimately, the Lord is taking all these privileges that Esau Edom is so-called known for on the planet Earth. His economy, he glorifies that. His religious system, he glorifies that. His military, he glorifies that. All these things are being made ashamed of. They're being made a mockery, man. All right, like the scriptures say, you're being made small among the heathen. So the Lord is uncovering the legs, uncovering the locks. You being exposed in these other nations, they're canceling out this place. But the Lord is making them cancel out this place to cancel you out, so the Lord can cancel them out. So it says, how for your miseries that shall come upon you, your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. And that's the day we prophesy of, man, when this economy is going to crash. Well, man, his heart is going to fail him for fear. All right? So what is going to lead to the holler? Prophecy, man. You read it, Amaz, in Revelation, the 19th chapter. It says what? The testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. You go into that word prophecy, it says the utterance of the Old Testament by New Testament prophets. So what do we have to actually go by before the New Testament? We had the Old Testament. What do we have in the Old Testament? Prophecy. Jeremiah 28:8, the prophets that have been before me and you. So the prophets that have been before Jeremiah, all the way up to it started with Adam. Who's Yahushua, man? We boasted his heritage in the Lord of the prophecies and the events that's going to happen today. Just to
add to what you were saying, because you had, I think last week, the apostles and different the brothers and whatnot, responded to the video of this some black Christian preacher, all right, loudmouth Christian preacher talking about there's no more prophets in these latter days. Okay, well, if there's no more prophets, then how would the end be spoken into existence? As we read earlier in Matthew 24:14, this gospel of the kingdom will be preached into all nations, and then the end will become. Well, who will be the ones to preach the gospel? It'll be the prophets and the apostles back in these latter days. Okay, because this gospel of the kingdom is not revealed unto ordinary men as it goes into Corinthians. Okay, it will only be revealed to the prophets just as it was revealed to the prophets in the days of old. Real quick, baby. You up 1 Corinthians 14.
Yeah, come on to back you up.
Okay, you got it. It's like
this is backing up the brother about basically, the secrets being revealed of who this devil is, and these nations are hip to it. They understand that this man is the devil. All right, that he's when you go that word devil, it means deceiver, man. All right. So this is Proverbs 26:26. Who hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be shown before the whole congregation, which is these other nations. All right, which is being brought forward by the prophets, and being brought forward by these whistleblowers, and being brought forward by these different doomsday preppers.
all of them is going to clarify and justify further the will of the Lord, man.
Yeah.
What the Lord said. And then we're in our right mind, Lord willing, we stay in our right mind to have that sound judgment and edify on these things, starting with our apostles on down to the least on these things that we see in the media and the news, filtered with secular history, current events. Go ahead, brother.
It says, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth the stone, it will return upon him.
Right, so Esau Edom he's digging that pit for us, right, in his mind. Oh, I'm gonna corral them up. I'm gonna further them in slavery. They're really gonna be slaves. Now they think they own themselves, but you should own nothing and be happy, all right, in this society coming up. But ultimately, that pit that he's trying to set for the nation of Israel, these so-called Native Americans, Latinos and Negroes, the pit that Esau Edom is trying to set, he's going to fall into that same pit, which is slavery. That's ultimately what hell goes into, right? The grave, the pit, the lower place. So it's going to go from a so-called white man's heaven to now a so-called white man's hell. It's slavery. It's ultimately he's going to go from whoever. he's the culprit. Now he's the defendant. You got it, bro.
It says, a lying tongue hated those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin. Again, it says, a lying tongue hated those that are afflicted by it. Because what happens? What are the prophets doing? They're calling out. They're talking about the affliction that they're going through, man. And the one who's afflicting it is Esau, man. He's afflicting this hell on our people, this hell on the world, this hell on these nations. He's suppressing the world. All right. So he hate those all that oppose to his will, man. All right. You know, of destroying the earth. All right. He's doing it for gain, man. That's why he doesn't kill. All right. And it says, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin. That's it. All right. That's it on that.
Yeah, I'm real quick to smack you up on because the point of the man is also going into your point of money. That's also going into your point of money, how you said that, all right, you're going to declare an outlaw on the Bible, man, all right, because of what? Ultimately, that's slander. This is Psalms 101 and 5. Whoso privily slander his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer.
One more time, I'll cover the show.
Psalms 101 and 5. Whoso privily slander his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer.
That's right, man. So they slander us, man. They slandered the Israelites. All right, they slandered our people. How? By doing these by putting out these different personas of what an Israelite is, man. All right. They slander us as a nation, man. Make us look, foolish and dumb and sottish, man. You know. That's why when these nations, as the apostle said, man, when these nations come over here, they expect us to be as what America portrays us to be, man. You know, when they come set up their shops and their stores, they look at our people and they expect our people to be as what America portrays us, man. But when it's otherwise, you know, they're shocked, man. You know, they're in disbelief. All right, and that's why when we walk into these different particular stores, they look at us funny. All right,
Deuteronomy 28 and 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
That's right, man. So when you walk into these stores, they looking for you to act an ass, look dumb, and the majority of them, a lot of them do, you know, look like that way in those corner stores. Always sitting at the corner store, you know, drinking beers, getting drunk, acting foolish, you know. But this is what America has produced, man. Has produced of our people. All right.
Real quick, I want to bring something out in the Maccabees. All right, because y'all was going to basically how Esau hates those that come up against his agenda, that speak out against his agenda. All right, this is First Maccabees chapter 1, and I'm going to start at verse 54. Now the 15th day of the month Castle in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars for the cities of Judah on every side. All right, Antiochus and Epiphanes and the Greeks were doing this our forefathers during the time of the Greek Empire, right? Okay, setting up idols in our temples, setting up idols for all the cities of Judea at that time. But it says, verse 55, and burnt incense at the doors of the houses and in their streets. Verse 56, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. Verse 57, and wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament or of any consent to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
That's what you call the Bible being outlaw.
Yep.
When you outlaw something or somebody, you exclude them from the laws of the society that you set up. You're on the outside looking in. And maybe by exiling them or death, which we know it's going to be in these times, man. The scriptures tell you in Revelation 13 chapter, he calls it all. So, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a prerogative and right hand or forward. And any man that doesn't worship the beast in his image, he's going to put you to death, man. That's what's coming next in this page, man. That the Lord is about to turn in this place, man. Right? We had different years that the apostle has called the year to turn up. Yahushua, Lord willing, turn it up. The year of Lord willing, the prophecies coming to pass, man. All of the prophecies, Yahushua, man. When in those times, man, when one false flag attempt, one crisis event can change society as we know it forever, man. According to prophecy. Go ahead, man.
This is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So the Lord basically telling us through prophecy, okay, well, mainly telling you 2/3, all right, that very soon that's getting ready to be a famine of the word. Meaning what? This word won't be on the internet much longer. We won't be out here on the streets of these different cities across America. Much longer. Okay? The Lord's going to bring a famine of the word. And ultimately, you know, of course, the Lord's also going to bring an actual famine of food and bread and water and different things. So the Lord's going to bring a famine of both. All right? The famine of food and water as well as the famine of the word. It says, verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. Yeah, 2/3 of all people that's going to be without the word, all right, they're going to be running to and fro to seek the word of the Lord and the men of the Lord that's been preaching this word for years. Okay, when that time comes, to and fro throughout the earth. Like it also says in Proverbs 1, roughly paraphrasing it, in the time of their calamity, they shall seek me early. Roughly paraphrasing, you know. So just as 2/3 of all people are tarrying to seek the Lord now, well, guess what? When these prophets come to pass, when their stomach's going to be touching their back, when their baby's going to be crying because they haven't eaten in 2 days, that's when 2/3 of all people are going to be making haste to seek the word of the Lord. Right? It says, verse 13, Amos 8:13, in that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint with thirst. You know, so all you women out there, you leaves that's on OnlyFans and social media, this and third, okay, boasting in your degrees and your careers and your entrepreneurship, as well as you young jakes out here in this world that's on social media, TikTok and shit, playing 2K all goddamn day, all right, not seeking the Lord in the days of your youth. Okay, y'all gonna be the main ones that's gonna be left out to dry, be sitting ducks when Jacob Trouble come to pass.
Yes.
Okay, because we're preaching this word, this kingdom of the gospel for you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This ministry that we're part of, okay, as we enter into the labors of our apostles, okay, this is a sign of the Lord stretching out his hand unto you. Okay, but very soon the Lord's going to pull his hand from you, all right, and all hell is going to break loose unto you, all right, you 2/3 jakes out there in this world, and basically you're going to have no plug for your sin.
Right, hey, just backing the brother up. This is ultimately the scene that the Lord has sent, man. All right, like the brother went into, banning this law, outlawing it. All right, and anyone that speaks of these words, teaches of this word, and sound doctrine shall be put to death. That's the society we're coming to. You got that word? I'm gonna read this verse. It's Isaiah 24:10 in the NLT. It said, "The city rids in chaos. Every home is locked to keep out intruders. Mobs gather in the street, crying out for wine. Joy has turned to gloom." And that's what the brother was reading, man. They're crying for wine, man. All right? because due to that famine of the word, man. All right. So it says, mobs gather in the streets crying out for wine. Joy has turned to gloom. Gladness has been banished. Gladness has been banished from the land. Go ahead, bro. Bring out that word banished.
It's the definition of banish. It says cast out,
Cast out, outlaw. Go ahead.
throw away.
Throw away. Outrule. Null and void. That's what they're going to do to this great book right here, man. Not in the words, not in the sight of Yahweh Shimei Shai, but in this society, they're going to outlaw this, man. Banished sounds a lot like banished, right? It's gone. That's what they're going to attempt to do in the society. So Edom was already trying to upset prophecy, man.
Yeah.
But his left-handed miracles in the earth, man, his left-handed wizardry.
Yeah. It says drive away, shut out, ban.
That's why the scriptures tell us be as pilgrims on the earth, man.
Yeah.
They're going to be looking for us, bounties on us, man. That's why the Lord is going to increase us, man, in that day. He's going to quicken us. We just got to believe, man.
It says expedite, reject.
Expedite, ship you out of there. You're gone. Go ahead up.
Let's see. Deport. That's it.
That's right. Go ahead. Also, like you got a little more. It says, gladness has been banished from the land. The city is left in ruins. Its gates battered down. Throughout the earth, the story is the same. Only a remnant is left. Like the stray olive left on the trees, or the few grapes left on the vine after harvest. And that's ultimately what's going to happen. Because we've been going into it, back into the kind of like the heart of the lesson, right? Those grapes, the Lord is going to try down on some grapes, and ultimately a vine is going to be kept in that cluster, the nation of Israel, man, in that harvest, within that hell, all right? What are grapes that the Lord is going to keep, man? Within this nuclear fire that's going to take the earth, we're going to be beamed up into these chariots. Give me Revelation 15, man, and go with yours, man. We're going to be beamed up in these chariots, and we're going to behold this place, man, in that lake of fire. Go ahead, out.
All right. It's Proverbs chapter 1, and we'll start at verse 22. All right. Proverbs 1, verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Right? Because knowledge has been increasing these other days. All right. So, Jason, it's like you need to be taking hold to this knowledge while it's still available, while you can still seek it. All right. But it says, verse 23, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. So the way for Yahweh Shimon Shah to make known his words of these holy scriptures unto you is that you have to turn at his reproof. Okay? Repent. All right? And receive the Holy Spirit. It says, because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded that. And what we're doing right here, after the example of our apostles and bishops and elders on down, this is an example of the Lord stretching out his hand unto you jakes out there. Okay? But as it said, and no man regarded. You don't regard to the word of the Lord. Okay? So that's why when the family of the word is going to hit, then you're going to regard. Then you're going to want to give a damn. But guess what? At that time, the Lord's not going to give a damn about you. It's thirst, that is. It says, verse 25. Verse 25, but ye have said not at my counsel, and would none of my reproof. Okay, the Lord's counsel is in the earth. Okay, through his prophets, his apostles, his elders, his bishops, his teachers, evangelists. All right, all for what? The perfecting of the saints in these latter days. It says, verse 27, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. All right, what is that whirlwind associated with? The chariots, right? Okay? And your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When your distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So when that destruction is going to come, the famine, the pestilence, the death, the sword, the tribulation, the charagma, and ultimately the nuclear destruction, okay, 2/3 of our people, they're going to be seeking the Lord early when that time comes. trying to call on Jesus Christ, trying to call on Allah, even trying to call on the true names of the Lord. What's that name that they've been calling on? Yahweh. They're going to be trying to call on the true name of the Lord. But guess what? The Lord's not going to answer unto you. Okay? Because you're not answering to the Lord through his men. All right?
That's right. And this is account ultimately with Zacharias, where it was filled with the Spirit ultimately after receiving John the Baptist. But that's likened unto us in the Spirit embracing the coming of Yahushua, man, to receive him. Because John the Baptist said, "What is one that has come after me that is greater?" So it says, Luke 1:68, "Blessed be the Lord Yahweh of Israel, for he had visited and redeemed his people, and had raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. And he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets," back in the brother of, "which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he sware to our father Abraham, that he would grant unto us, that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life," man. And ultimately, that's what's coming up, all right? Us serving Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in righteousness all the days of our life, man. The Most High honoring, once again, I'm going to say honoring that oath that he made with our forefathers, man. To give us that land, all right? To join us onto him as joint heirs, to live in righteousness, to restore the earth in peace, and to have us ruling under him, man, and subject unto him, all right? So that was it, brother. That was it. Oh, I got one real quick, man.
I got one too.
This is a real quick one. This is Jeremiah 31:11. I'm gonna start at 10. It says, "Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel will gather him and keep him, as a shepherd doth his flock. For the Lord had redeemed Jacob and ransomed." Who had ransomed us? Yahushua. Ransom is also ultimately going into that atonement that the Lord paid for us, man. That reconciliation back unto the Father. All right? So it says, "And ransom him from the hand of him that was stronger than he," man. He saw him. All right, our oppressor. These are the nations that prey on us, man. All right, that lick our wounds. Go ahead, brother. That was it.
All right. This is what we at? We at 12. All right. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 23 in the NLT. All right, Romans 8:23 in the NLT. "And we believers also groan, even though we have the Holy Spirit within us as a foretaste of future glory." You know, so we as the hopeful elect, the believers in these latter days.
Ooh, can you read from 20 by percent? That's the NLT?
Yeah.
Yes, please read from 20.
Read it all in the NLT.
Yeah. Probably sure.
All right. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 20 in the NLT. "Against its will, all creation was subjected to Yahweh's curse, but with eager hope, the creation looks forward to the day when it will join Yahweh's children in glorious freedom from death and decay." All right, verse 22. "For we know that
That's
all..."
our earnest expectation, man. Awaiting the arrival of whom the world really calls Jesus Christ, man. He deliverer, our Savior, man, through the Father. Because we know that if we are of that number, if we are of the hopeful elect, man, we are going to reign with Yahushua forever. It's no going down from here. That's why every day that we endure this corrupt society, you wake up, it's another chance to go hard for Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, serve the Lord. Edify, exhort. You got it, brother.
All right. Verse 22, Romans 8:22 in the NLT. "For we know that all creation has been groaning as in the pains of childbirth right up to the present time. All right, verse 23. And we believers also groan, even though we have the Holy Spirit within us as a foretaste of future glory. Okay, so we as the hopeful elect, we believers, okay, even though we have the Holy Spirit in us to give us a foretaste of the future glory, as we go from glory to glory, we still grow because through the Holy Spirit, we understand that how the earth is supposed to be properly ran. We understand that we're supposed to be the true rulers of the earth. Okay, we understand that the earth is not supposed to have all this wickedness going on in it. Okay, we still grown at all these things, even though we have the Holy Spirit to understand that soon the Lord's going to put an end to all of this wickedness. But it says, for we long for our bodies to be released from sin and sufferings. We too wait with eager hope for the day when Yahweh will give us our full rights as his adopted children, including the new bodies he has promised us.
See that?
Yeah, so let's just say it again, the latter part of Romans 8 and 23 in the NLT, we too wait with eager hope for the day when Yahweh will give us our full rights as his adopted children, including the new bodies he has promised us. So we're eagerly hoping, all right, we're hastening the day of the Lord, where Yahweh is going to come back and deliver us and give us those new bodies and bring us into the new covenant, so that we can fully receive our full rights as the sons of God, basically. Which is what? Being back up at the right hand of the Father, okay, next to Yahushua, all right, receiving the fatness of the earth, okay, entering into the blessing that was given to Jacob in Genesis 27, all right, the fatness of the earth, the wine and the corn and all of that, okay, spiritual powers, okay, knowing the ins and outs of the earth, all right, seeing Yahushua as he is, so like it says in John, 1 John, the 3rd chapter, and even knowing as we are, knowing how we ourselves were created, okay? We're eagerly waiting when Yahweh Shemashah is going to give us all these things back, okay, when he gives us the victory over the beast in his image and his character, okay?
That's right, being adopted back in what Apostle Paul spoke of in Romans the 9th chapter, man. All right? To the Jews and the Gentiles. Go ahead, brother. Oh, I got a quick one. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 8. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cried unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And ultimately, Lord willing, we want to be reverenced in that regard of being just, being righteous. And we ultimately sigh and cry for the abominations that are being done in the midst thereof, man. Continually watching and praying. Palal wa shamar. Palal wa shamar. Shamar wa palal. Praying and watching and praying. That's ultimately our life. To wait for the coming of the Father, man. He returns home on that long journey, man. And when he comes home, shall he find a house furnished? Shall it be filled with guests? Are they waiting and anticipating the supper of the Lamb? Let me get this real quick. You got a quick one? Anybody got one?
Yeah, come on.
All right.
Yeah, because we as the hopeful elect, we're the only group of people that's watching and hoping and praying for the Lord to come back and destroy America and put an end to all this wickedness. Because even you Christians out there, are you Christians that's constantly in these churches every Sunday or whatever day you go to the church during the week? You Christians aren't praying for the end of the society. You're praying for, you Christians are praying praying for Thanksgiving, praying for Christmas, Easter, New Year's. Okay, your next so-called vacation, your next birthday, all right?
Hey, if I can say, they want that extension, just backing you up. They want that next event. They're like, man, I know I ain't got enough money, but hey, man, just extend it. I'll come with some money later. Just give me an extension, man. Just let me keep going. Let me keep living here, man. No, man. The scriptures tell you we were carried out to the land, all right, unknown to us, man, all right? Where they worship other gods, wood and stone. That's here in America, man.
Just a quick one. This is Sirach chapter 16, verse 13. The sinner shall not.
We can't block this out. This is just we won't break laws. Go ahead.
Sirach 16, verse 13. The sinner shall not escape with his spoils. Okay, who's that sinner going into? Esau Edom, the man of sin. All right, and who is Esau's main spoil in these latter days? Okay, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So this devil, all right, though it seems like he's winning now, okay, as he's at the height of his power, but the Lord said he shall not escape. Okay, he's not going to escape from the judgment that's written. So, all right, Sirach 16, verse 13 again. The sinner shall not escape with the spoils, and the patience of the godly shall not be frustrated. So backing up the brother from just a few minutes ago, all right, we watch and pray, and we patiently wait for the day of the Lord. So guess what? The Lord is not going to frustrate our patience. Okay, though these prophecies tarry, okay, but at the end they shall speak. All right, that's right, and basically not not wait any longer. You know, you got.
And just backing up that point you made about the spoils being ultimately, all right, the nation of Israel. This is Joel 3 and 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye, and this is talking about modern day Israel, it says, and all the coast of Palestine, will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swift and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. And that's talking about ultimately modern day Israel. And who's ultimately in control of modern day Israel right now? Who is Esau Edom. So the Lord is going to deliver that recompense unto you, Esau, upon your own head. Verse 5, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, those spoils, you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. And the silver and gold is the Lord's people, man. His treasure. The temples is America, all right? Basically, and it's empires, man. You carried us in over here and done what to us? Extorted us for unjust riches, unjust gain. And now you're trying to charagma us, man. You're trying to put the charagma in us, man. As your property. We're the Most High's property, man. So the Lord is going to make a speedy riddance of you, man. And these other nations round about, man. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, when I'm lost.
I was holding that Revelation 15.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead,
Right.
brother. Go ahead, you break it down.
Which one you wanted? Where you?
15 and 1.
Okay. All right. This is Revelations 15 and 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues.
Right, 7 last plagues goes into basically the 7 trumps, all right? Destruction. And that 7 is going into completion, meaning America is finally wiped out and obliterated, all right? The third will come in quickly, all right? America is going to be destroyed in a very small amount of time, all right? Do your research, man, about how long this place got left, which is a very short time. So it says, it's like you got more? Go ahead, brother.
It says, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up with wrath of Yahweh.
Indignation, go ahead.
And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the
The
beast.
what over the beast?
The victory over the
what over the
beast.
beast?
The victory over the
So it
beast.
says them. Yahweh Shai says what? I pray for them and not the world. So notice how the Lord is separating who's going to be delivered and who's going to be destroyed. One more time, Mark.
It says, and them that had gotten victory over the beast.
The Lord, men are going to get the victory over the beast in his image. We're not going to take the Quran. The Lord reserved 7,000 men that have not bowed to the knees of all this image, man. This system. We're going to be rewarded for that. What is it? Revelation 2 and 10, right? Faithful unto death, and I shall give thee a crown of life. Go ahead, brother.
And over his image, and over his charagma, and over the number of his name,
And over the number of his name, go ahead.
stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh.
That's right, man. Those chariots, man. We're going to behold from being inside those chariots. All right. This
Yeah.
place is going to be likened onto what? A lake of fire, man. What is America between two oceans? It's going to be a lake of fire, man. Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, right? So we're going to behold the destruction of this place, man. The scriptures tell you what? Only with thine eyes shall thou see and behold the reward of the wicked, man. That's the times we're coming into, man. Go ahead, bro.
Just to back up Revelation 15, there's Isaiah 26 and verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee.
Right.
Hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. You know, because it's only going to take the Lord just a little moment to destroy Babylon the Great America. Okay, 1 hour, as it says in Revelation the 18th chapter.
Right.
All right, and it says, verse 21, for behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain. You know, say, and the Lord's going to come back to do a lot of bloodshed upon the earth. All for what? The purpose of his indignation, which again, indignation goes into righteous anger or justified anger. So the Lord's going to be just, you know, because, you know, there's a reason why we see all this wickedness at an all-time high in the earth. Because, you know, as it's getting more and more wicked, all right, when the Lord's going to bring destruction and judgment, the Lord's going to be more and more justified in doing these things.
Yes.
You know?
That's right. Just backing you up. This is Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to the heavens in a cloud, those chariots, and their enemies beheld them. Now we can picture Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, happening at this time in our mind. All right. So it says, and they ascended, which means to go up to heaven in a cloud, and the enemies beheld them. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake was slain amid 7,000, which is a complete amount. The scriptures tell you the earth shall rock to and fro like a drunkard. That's what is going to take place, all right, when this war is going on, man, ultimately destroying America, engulfing, all right, the surrounding areas, just as what happened in Sodom, man, all right? The scriptures tell you in the book of Ezekiel 38 chapter, Israel is going to be brought back from this war, so it's going to be nukes being shot off into the land of Israel is going to be restored, though. Continual employment, though. So it says, Revelation 11 and 13, and the 10th part of the city fell, going into that FEMA chart. All right, America is broken up into those 10 parts, man. But ultimately, it's going to fall. It's going to be destroyed, obliterated, wiped off. Like when you used to have that digital chalk machine. Like as a kid, you used to write little stuff on it, and then you had a little slide that slides right over it, and it slides everything off. Then you can get to write it again. That's what's going to happen to America. It's going to be slid off the face of the earth. The earth is going to be refreshed. The earth is not going to be destroyed. As it is written, the earth abideth forever. So this wicked ground that we stand on will be new. So it says, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. So in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, that's why the scriptures tell you in the New Testament, our light affliction, but for a moment, worketh the far more work in us and exceeding glory for the coming of Yahweh Shah. Roughly careful. You gotta take us out.
All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 11. All right, 2nd Ezra chapter 11. And I'm going to start at verse 36. All right, 2nd Ezra 11, verse 36. Then I heard a voice which said unto me, matter of fact, I want to read this in the GMT. Okay. Because I was reading that the other day. Just bring that up. Right. Second. All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 11, verse 30, starting at verse 36 in the GNT. All right. It says, then I heard a voice which said, Ezra, look straight ahead and think about what you see. All right. This is an angel speaking to Ezra right here. Ezra's right here, right? Or Ezra. Okay. Verse 37. And I looked and saw what appeared to be an angry lion come roaring out of the forest. And I heard it speak in human language to the eagle and say, all right, and this angry lion is just basically symbolic of Yahweh Shai. Okay, and this eagle, all right, this chapter is speaking about the fourth beast system, the eagle, right, which started off as ancient Rome, but now today is reincarnated as America, as well as NATO and the EU. Okay, it says, I'm reading 37 again. 2 Esdras 11, verse 37. In the GNT, I heard and saw what appeared to be an angry lion come roaring out of the forest. I heard it speak in human language to the eagle and say, listen, eagle, to what I have to say to you. It is a message of the Most High Yahweh. Okay, so this is a message from the Most High Yahweh from the heavens, speaking unto basically America, Babylon the Great. Okay, the last leg of this fourth beast system is saying what? Verse 39. You are the only one left of the four animals, or the four beasts in Daniel 7, right? That I appointed to govern my world and to bring the ages of this world to an end. Okay, and as it says in 2 Esdras 6 and 9, Esau would be the end of this world, or the end of this age.
Right.
All right.
And Jacob is the beginning and following.
That's right.
We're in those stages right now. The Lord is prepping us for the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
See how that works? He's prepping the wicked for slavery. He's prepping the righteous for the kingdom.
Right.
We're tailor-made by the Lord, man. We're custom. Just like we have certain things that go on our life that show, hey, the Lord got us in different situations because ultimately we got different gifts. But it's all to make that body go. Keep rolling, keep going. Guess where our destination is? The kingdom of heaven. Go ahead up.
All right. Verse 40, 2 Esdras 11, verse 40 in the GNT. You are the fourth animal, all right, or the fourth beast, and you have conquered all the animals that came before you. Okay, it says,
yes, that miry clay.
Yeah.
All right. Ultimately, America and its European allies, man, that whore that sitteth upon many waters. All right. But ultimately, that's going into America being weak, even though it's conquered the nations prior to it, all right, or exceeds the nations prior to it, should I say, it still ultimately is weak. Because look at the times that we're living in. Look at what they're allowing, man. Look at the morals. Look at the principles, man. All right? That's why the scriptures call it a whore that sitteth upon many waters. Not a wife. This is a whore, man. Look at her actions. Look at her vintage. Look at her countenance, man. Go ahead, brother.
it says, as long as you have been in this world,
444.
It says, as long as you have been in this world, you have ruled it through terror, oppression, and deceit. And that's America. That's basically America's rulership down to a T. Terror, okay, the real terrorists, all right, oppression and deceit. You know, as it goes into an Sirach 10, riches and injuries gotten by deceit, roughly paraphrasing.
Right.
You know, that's how America has been ruled. Well, not just America, but Esau, Edom as a whole in these latter days. Okay, including Russia, even though Russia's not a part of the beast system, but all of Esau's rulership in the earth in these latter days has been gotten through terror, oppression, and deceit. Okay, great robbery and murder and slavery and genocide. It said, verse 41, with a total disregard for truth. Total disregard for truth. Everything that this man has set up, all right, in the earth in these latter days is all based off of pseudoscience, lies, deception, false religion, false education, false history. Okay,
that's right.
All to exalt himself. You know, it says, and to blaspheme Yahweh Shimon Shai. It says, verse 42, you have viciously attacked harmless people who were living in peace. You have hate, and a prime example of that is Gad. All right, Gad and the rest of the northern tribes that were here in the west. Okay, you know, our people didn't do any harm to you when you first came to this club.
That be at peace with them.
Yeah. You know, we showed you how to live on the land. We showed you how to defeat the British.
Natural resources.
Yep. And in turn, what did you do? You slaughtered us and created holidays celebrating slaughtering us.
Right, like the brother Amwaz goes into, they broke several hundreds and hundreds of treaties, all right, that they made with the so-called Native Americans. Stole that land. This man right here stole it from our forefathers, man. The tribe of Gad. Here in Louisiana, man. it was broke off into tribes. Opelousas tribe, Atakapas, Nakatosh's tribe, Homos. All right. This land is the fall that we stand on, man. That's why we're going to the Lord. Got something tailor made for Louisiana. A curveball coming for this place, man. It's wicked, man. You got it, brother.
All right. 2 Corinthians 11 and 42 in the GNT. You have viciously attacked harmless people who are living in peace. You have hated those who spoke the truth, and you have loved liars. Okay, anybody that comes up against Esau's system, these whistleblowers, okay, these various different people exposing this agenda, Esau's basically knocked them off. The George Carlin, okay, John Lennon, hell, even Michael Jackson. You know, he made that song, They Don't Give a F About Us. Okay, and this guy, Aaron Russo, which Apostle Gabar always goes into. Aaron Russo, there's a famous interview that Apostle Gabar always goes into, where he said out of his own mouth that he spoke with one of the Rockefellers that they basically want to put a Karakma inside of everybody. All right? And Aaron Russo is no longer here because we believe that Esau knocked him off. All right? But it says, you have destroyed the homes of those who were prosperous and have torn down the walls of those who did you no harm. Verse 43, all right, the Most High Yahweh knows how proud and arrogant you are. The Mighty One has looked back over the world he established. The end has come. The final age is over. And the final age will come through the blessing of Esau Edom. It says, verse 45, so eagle, the time has come for you to vanish, along with your big terrible wings, your small wicked wings, your evil heads, your awful claws.
The wings going into your strength, man. All right? Your facilities, how you operate, all of that is being taken down, man. Your left wing, right wing, Democrats, Republicans. Go ahead, brother.
It says, so eagle, the time has come for you to vanish, along with your big terrible wings, your small wicked wings, your evil heads, your awful claws, and your whole worthless body.
Hey, so the Lord told you Esau the whole body is sick, man. But this is let's stricken him some more. The whole body is sick. So the Lord is going to render this place ultimately desolate, man. Go ahead up.
All right, this last verse.
Y'all can come through camp like the sidewalk. That's against the law. We don't break laws. Go ahead, bro.
All right, in verse 46, the entire world will be set free from your violence and renewed as it sets its hope on the judgment and mercy of Yahweh who created it.
Right, so once the villain, the culprit of the planet Earth is taken out, that's why the scriptures tell you, he that led until he be taken out of the way, man. So the Lord is letting you do what he's designed you to do, Esau, until he takes you out of the way, man. But this is something we can end it on. It's back in Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdom of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Amashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders were set before the power seats of the Most High, fell upon their faces and worshiped the Most High, saying, we give thanks, O Lord, which art and was and art to come. You see, the beginning, the end, and what's to come. So it says, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and has reigned, man. The kingdom of the world has become the kingdoms of our Lord now, man. And us. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. So, Lord willing, this message has been edifying. All right? We're going to turn to face the east and give infinite honors and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Yahweh. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of the double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. Above. Mighty Shalom. Shalom. Until next time, I keep Shalom. Mighty Shalom.